Hi, everyone, and welcome back. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Scotty. Great to have you with us again. In our last two episodes of Bites of Italy, we were exploring the amazing food scene in Milan, from our favorite restaurants to the best high-quality, authentic, and affordable spots for lunch.
But today, we're taking a little day trip just an hour north by train to one of Italy's most spectacular destinations, Lake Como. This is episode 24 of Bites of Italy, and we're exploring the tastes, traditions, and authentic dining spots that make this lake region so special.
Okay, let's unpack this. The name Lake Como conjures up these stunning images, right? Old-world Italian elegance, those dramatic alpine backdrops, villas just filled with history.
Definitely. It's a classic Northern Italy retreat. You know, just beautiful. But when a place gets this famous like Lake Como, well, the challenge for any traveler is figuring out how to separate the real, authentic local stuff from the places just built for the crowds.
Exactly, and that's precisely our mission today. We strive to cut through the noise to give you a curated list of vetted spots for high-quality dining. But we're not after trendy fusion here.
No, not at all.
We want places of a different kind, those run by families who have been upholding local cooking tradition for literally decades. Think of this episode as your personal cheat sheet, finding that genuine regional flavor.
And since most folks start at the southern end, it makes sense to begin our culinary journey at the busiest and most classic entry point, the town of Como itself. We know that finding a good restaurant, especially in the historic center of Como, can be tricky.
Yeah, it can.
But we managed to find a reliable destination in the crowded historic center of Como, where you can take refuge from the tourist chaos and be assured of a good meal. Just off the Via Vitani, one of the oldest streets there, is Osteria del Gallo.
And the moment you approach it, you feel its history. It's been run by Giuseppe de Toma and his wife Rosanna for over 40 years. You see those old traditional signs, the wooden chairs outside, even this faded yellow SIP telephone sign. It's like stepping back in time. A real atmosphere of an old tavern, rich in details.
Totally. Inside it's all wooden furniture and classic green and white checkered tablecloths. The walls are a stunning collage covered in vintage photos, newspaper clippings, and paintings. All of this creates a visual history of this place. And then the key thing, you can't miss it, is Gallo, the rooster. It's in the name, obviously, but it's also everywhere else. On plates, carafes, drawings, countless ornaments, and small sculptures.
And this dedication to the historical vibe, they carry right over into the kitchen's philosophy. It's all about authentic Italian home cooking. Pure flavor, excellent value.
Sometimes that's just what you want, right? And they keep the menu small, very focused. It changes daily based on what's seasonal, what they can get their hands on, just like the old taverns used to do.
Importantly, Osteria del Gallo is the perfect place for anyone who wants to enjoy local dishes, inspired by the culinary traditions of the Como and the nearby mountain valleys such as Valtellina and Valchiavenna.
And that geographic mix is key because it leads us straight to the dishes you absolutely have to try if you go there. For antipasto, think focaccia filled with cheese, accompanied by select cured meats, especially Chiavenna bresaola, the air-dried beef from up the valley.
And pizzoccheri for the first course. If you've never had it, it's an incredibly hearty, really comforting dish from Valtellina.
Please describe it to us.
Okay. They're those long, flat noodles made mostly from buckwheat and some wheat flour. They're served smothered with chunks of potato, loads of butter, cheese called cazzera, and Savoy cabbage. It is wonderfully heavy, savory, just perfect after a chilly day walking by the lake. Proper mountain food.
This is true mountain food, which just highlights how that land flavors surround the lake.
Exactly.
But of course, when you're at Osteria del Gallo, you have to try their signature dish, right? The one the place is named after. The roasted rooster with potatoes and generous side of daily steam mixed vegetables. It's that simple, satisfying meal you'd expect from a place serving families for generations. Just solid, good food.
We also have to mention wine, which is a passion of Giuseppe, the owner. There's this massive wooden shelf. It's amazing. Holds hundreds of labels. He actually sees wine as part of the food, fundamental to the whole experience for him. And even if you're not feeling adventurous enough to try like a Lebanese or Armenian vintage, which he has, the house wine is totally reliable and honestly a steal at €8 for half a liter.
Can't beat that. Now, logistics. This place is cozy, small, only seats about 40 people, and it's definitely a known spot for locals.
Got it. Reservations are a must. What are the opening times?
They take their days off seriously, closed Sundays and Mondays. So, plan accordingly.
Right. Okay, that's Como covered. Let's move on and head across the water to Bellagio.
Let's do it. Bellagio is the postcard town of Lake Como, right? Famous backdrop for movies, the quintessential spot. But if you want that truly authentic kitchen, you've got to look just slightly beyond the main drag.
So, let's go to the quiet old fishing hamlet called San Giovanni. It's just a 15-minute walk, but it feels totally different from Bellagio Center. Think narrow cobblestone paths, a tiny little boat harbor, a beautiful church with 18th century architecture facing the lake. Very peaceful. And the restaurant there, our favorite spot, is Ittiturismo, or the agritourism Ristorante Mella. The restaurant has a bright and cozy dining room on the first floor overlooking the lake, a dining room on the ground floor, and 2 tables on a small outdoor terrace.
And it's right there on the harbor, so it's connected to fishing, right?
Exactly. This place is like a living museum, a bastion for the history of Lake Como's fishermen. It's run by Alessandro Sala and his wife Rosie. He inherited it from his parents. They opened it way back in 1958.
This is an incredible legacy.
Yeah. And here's the really cool part. They don't just run the restaurant. They still run an active fishing business too. Alessandro is a professional fisherman. So the connection between the catch and the kitchen is direct. It's a 0-kilometer supply chain as the fish goes directly from the net to the pan.
That is special. It must define the food.
Totally. It's honest, homely cuisine, and it is focused on the lake. You'll also find meat dishes here, but for us, it's all about the fish, and everything starts with the raw materials. They actually display a list of the local farms and producers they source from. It's not just the fish they catch, but other local stuff too.
I love that. That transparency, especially in a touristy area, that's fantastic.
It really is. You can opt for a tasting menu of lake fish. Prices range from €32 to €42, depending on the number of courses. But it gives you a comprehensive overview of what authentic local cuisine is all about.
That sounds like excellent value, actually. Tell us, what's typically included?
You will start with a set of 4 appetizers, which change frequently, but the signature antipasto is always included. It's a marinated lake fish fillet with onions, celery, and carrots. A truly fresh start. Then, for the first course, a risotto with lake fish and seasonal additions such as autumnal pumpkin cream. And finally, grilled lake fish with vegetables, followed by a lemon sorbet or coffee is served.
But for those who want that full Pure Lake experience, we recommend being adventurous and ordering from the a la carte menu the most unique traditional dish, Missoltini with polenta. This dish truly tells a story, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Missoltini are these small freshwater fish called aguani. They are salted, then dried intensely in the sun for preservation, and then pressed in a tin container.
So it's like a preserved cured fish.
Exactly. The result is intentionally salty, very intensely flavored. It's like a real punch of concentrated lake flavor.
That intensity sounds like maybe an acquired taste. Is the polenta crucial for balancing it out?
Yes, the polenta is essential. It's earthy, mild, and provides that perfect counterbalance. We suggest ordering a portion to share. It's a cultural experience worth trying, but be prepared for that distinct saltiness and flavor profile.
Good advice. Share it first. But if that sounds a bit too adventurous, what's a safer classic main course there?
Try rice served with beautifully fried perch fillets or pesce persico, finished simply with butter and sage. Delicate and delicious, and don't skip dessert. They serve Miascia cake. This is a traditional cake of Lake Como made with leftover bread and dried fruit.
Sounds good.
In addition, their wine selection is careful, with good suggestions by the glass. The sparkling White House wine is also excellent and pairs well with fish.
Now, logistics. How to get to San Giovanni and the Mella restaurant.
You can get there by boat or car. The good news is that parking is widely available and free, both right in front of the restaurant and right behind it. Big plus in Lake Como.
Definitely.
But it's actually a really pleasant, totally manageable 15-minute walk from the center of Bellagio. Nice way to build an appetite or walk off the meal. I suggest combining business with pleasure and strolling through the gardens of Villa Melzi, which are always a beautiful sight. And please note that Mella Restaurant is closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Got it. Now, we have one more stop. But before we get there, a quick reminder. If you're enjoying our culinary adventures across Italy, make sure to subscribe to the Bites of Italy podcast so you never miss an episode.
Yeah, subscribing helps us reach more fellow travelers and food lovers, and ensures you'll get the latest tips wherever your Italian travels take you.
Now let's head to the Eastern Shore, to Varenna, where you can admire incredible sunsets. It's often less crowded than Como or Bellagio, and it's there that we discovered a true culinary secret. And when I say secret, I mean a place with no website and practically invisible on social media. And it is tucked away in these historic streets of Varenna. We're talking about Ristorante il Cavatappi. Il Cavatappi means corkscrew.
Yeah, this restaurant is hidden.
Micro, intimate, and romantic. Perfectly maintained inside the walls of the old historic town center. With an open kitchen, a corkscrew display, and outdoor tables nestled among the charming narrow streets. But here's the kicker. It only has capacity for maybe 20 customers tops. So, planning is key, but the payoff is an incredibly intimate dining experience. That exclusivity creates an amazing atmosphere.
I bet. It elevates everything. And the food? What's the philosophy in such a tiny place?
Well, I would describe it as a pursuit of perfection in preparing dishes that do not change very often. Refinement and focus on high-quality seasonal ingredients. It's kind of a blend. Traditional lake style meets broader Mediterranean influences because the menu isn't just lake fish. It embraces the whole geography. Land, sea, mountains, all meeting on the plate.
Nice variety.
Yeah. And all fresh pasta and desserts are made right there on site.
What dishes stand out there? What would you highlight?
Well, for an appetizer, look for their trout preparation. Sometimes it's carpaccio, sometimes tartare, or maybe even sashimi. Always fresh, always delicious. For pasta, I like orecchiette pasta with lake fish. These little ears are served with what they call the perfume of our lake. It sounds poetic.
It does. And if maybe you've had your fill of fish after visiting Mella, is there a good meat option?
Absolutely. Particularly popular is the braised lamb shank, stinco di agnello, served with potatoes and mixed berries. It's an outstanding choice. And don't forget the wine, as a carefully selected wine list complements their offerings. It features some of the best wine labels on the market, including those from nearby Valtellina.
Okay, one more absolutely critical piece of advice given the small size of Il Cavatappi. Getting a reservation isn't just a good idea, it's essential. But luckily, they're open every day.
So we have quite a range today.
Absolutely. If we put it all together, we can see the bigger picture. You know what's fascinating about Como's food scene? Its identity is how much it pulls from its neighbors. It's not just purely lake cuisine.
That's a great point.
Yeah, it's actually more of a regional fusion, really. You can naturally feel the influence of Milan, but also the nearby mountain valleys. So we have today 3 truly different yet equally fantastic options, depending on your mood and location on Lake Como.
In the heart of bustling Como, you'll find rich, hearty tradition and great value at Osteria del Gallo. It's the perfect place to enjoy a classic tavern atmosphere and savor mountain food.
Then there is the total pure commitment to lake fish and that incredible fishing legacy at Ristorante Mella in the quieter, less touristy part of Bellagio, San Giovanni.
And finally, a super intimate and refined experience awaits you at the secret gem of Il Cavatappi, a restaurant tucked away in the historic streets of Varenna.
But all these spots, they're really united by this devotion to tradition, to family, and to those amazing local ingredients drawing from the whole region's geography. They also have in common that they are open to non-Italian-speaking tourists, offering menus in English.
You nailed it. Let's wrap up our Lake Como adventure then. We hope you've enjoyed exploring these authentic spots with us.
Yeah, it's been a great little getaway from Milan, but next time we're heading right back there.
That's right. In our next episode, we're returning to Milan to dive into the world of aperitivo, one of Italy's most iconic traditions.
We'll show you where to find the best local spots for that perfect pre-dinner drink and bite.
So make sure you join us next time on Bites of Italy.
Thanks for listening, and until then, buon appetito. Ciao!